Panthers head coach Dave Canales, who I think you know, JB Person, if I'm not mistaken, says nobody throws a prettier ball than Geno Smith, as Michael Lombardi goes on the Pat McAfee show and explains the Seahawks' struggling offensive line and struggling defense, and saying hopefully it'll be improved this season under Mike McDonald. I guess my question for you guys is, as the quarterback gurus of the show, how will Geno Smith and the Seahawks fare under new head coach Mike McDonald?
Well, first of all, he didn't tell no lies. If you show up at your neighborhood park and Geno Smith's out there in shorts, he can spin it.
But anybody, we've been saying that.
It's a beautiful thing to watch now. Canales, if I'm not mistaken, was Geno's quarterback coach in Seattle, right?
I've been around. Yeah, and I've been coaching with Dave for a long time. Dave coached with us in JUCO here in Cali. He was at a high school called North Torrance High School, fucking coaching quarterbacks and OC. Then he went to El Camino JUCO, and then Pete hired him as a GA at SC, and then Pete took him to Seattle with him as a quality control off the field guy, and then he just took off from there because it's all who you know. We already know that. So go ahead.
Geno is a perfect example of a kid that was super talented, that was drafted into an impossible situation with the Jets. It was so dysfunctional. He didn't have the level of talent needed to win. And because we got a microwave media when it comes to sports, people gave up on him because he didn't instantly reward the Jets for where they drafted him. He bit the bullet, went to Seattle, didn't get in his feelings, worked his butt off, supported Russell Wilson, and now he's got a second chance to show that he should have been a starting quarterback this whole time. But I agree with Canales. Geno can really spin the ball, Smitty.
Is he? Yeah. Would you consider him, Shaun, in your and I terms, and I'm going to try to give it in layman's terms to the audience, is he a deer in headlights, though, when it comes to brass tacks and down the stretch and in big games and big situations, crunch time, red zone opportunities, late in games? We've seen him kind of what happened against the 49ers 2 years ago in the playoffs. It was a game at halftime, second half. He comes out, throws a pick to the flat defender on an easy curl, flat curl read. And I'm just like, you can't make those throws and be elite. Is he a deer in headlights in your eyes, or is he just a product of lack of experience? Because we really be honest, he hasn't been a starter in the NFL for very long. Let's just be real. He can make throws like this, though. He can make throws like this, which is like, oh, fuck. Nobody can do that. But then he's a deer in headlights.
I was going to say, I don't know if we got a big enough
sample size
to really tell. Because, last year was his first time being the full-time starter since the Jets. And I think he was only the starter in the Jets 2 years, if I'm mistaken. But there are times when I think he feels the rush more than he should for as long as he's been in the league. But then some of these throws, you see him sitting in the pocket dropping dimes. So maybe it's just about being more consistent. I do agree with Canales that the Seahawks O-line, although talented, they've got two young kids they drafted high that they like a lot, but it was inconsistent.
Yeah, I agree. No doubt.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see, like you said, year one, new head coach, it's first year of him ever being a head coach. Obviously, you had the legend Pete Carroll's been there for so long, and we all have so much respect for. But sometimes it's not even a matter of like, oh, I'm a bad coach, he needs to be fired. No, it's not that. Sometimes you just need a new energy. It has nothing to do with who the previous guy was. So maybe this new energy, in the room could be just, the trigger that's necessary, that's needed to get Geno back on track, to get the Seahawks back on track. Because they still have a pretty good roster when I look overall of what they are. I think last year was a little bit of a down year compared to how they played 2 seasons ago. So who's to say that they won't bounce back this year and really compete, over there?
Here's my take. I'm not a believer in McDonald. I think he backhand slap in the face to Pete Carroll, who won the Super Bowl there, went to 2, who resurrected that organization. And I know this to be fact, taking his trophies out, taking all the memorabilia, taking all the pictures, taking the Legion of Boom trophy and memorabilia down. I get putting your stamp on the office. I get making it your new baby, your philosophy, your culture. But like when I leave a head job and I go on and move on, Shaun, I don't take the game film with me. I don't take the bowl trophy with me. That's a college. That's a university thing. That's a thing that we accomplished as a whole. You can't dismiss that. Like that's a slap in the face to me. I'm not a believer in him yet. He's gonna have to make me a believer. And then being a defensive guy, Shaun, I don't believe they have the defensive personnel to be good enough to help Geno on offense. And you and I know what I'm talking about. You're going to have some very, very inopportune or opportune moments that makes it easy on you as a quarterback to win games that you're probably not supposed to win. So I don't know if they're good enough talent-wise on defense to get him over the hump. But that to be said,